Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum and Gardens opened Monday, a day after someone tried to break into the site's nearly 160-year-old main building.
23 News reporter Jim Haggerty talks to staff at the historic site about how they're working to pick up the pieces.
The silence of an early Rockford morning was shattered Sunday when, at around 3 o'clock, would-be burglars smashed the glass in a door that leads into the main building at Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum.
On Sunday, we were forced to close the doors just because there was glass everywhere. We had to fill out police reports, roll through the security footage.
On that security footage were 4 people Director Samantha Hochman says looked female, possibly in their late teens or early 20s.
So we do have security cameras all around the property. It's posted on each building that the museum campus is under surveillance.
Hochman said the suspects ran from the 5-acre property when the burglar alarm, which can be heard for blocks, sounded.
They were pretty quick to hightail it out of here.
That means none of the 10,000 artifacts inside the home that once belonged to Robert Tinker and his family were touched.
We filed a police report. We're hoping to catch the folks who did this.
And so are visitors to the 80-year-old museum.
That's terrible. They really need to look into themselves and see what they're doing. You know, they're destroying history, one of the founding members of this community.
If somebody does know something, we encourage you to send your tips to the Rockford Park District Police Department.
Working for you in Rockford, Jim Haggerty, 23 News.
Now, Robert Tinker, who was a former mayor of Rockford, built his 27-room home between 1865 and 1870.
Before she died in 1942, his wife Jessie deeded the property to the Rockford Park District. It became a museum a year later in 1943.
It is